Welcome back to Ride Next to Broken Bar, the motorcycle destination where machines are not just products of broken bar but trolling expressions of mechanical philosophy, engineering behavior, and purposeful intent. Today we dive into a motorcycle that has quietly built one of the strongest cult bases in the sub-200cc market worldwide. A motorcycle that didn't win fame by brute engine size or outrageous marketing but by identity, flavor, personality, and usability mixed into one extremely well-balanced package. Today we are talking about 2026 Yamaha XSR 155. This bike is not just the baby brother of Yamaha's XSR legacy. It is also one of the most intelligently positioned retro sport machines in the small displacement global segment. This motorcycle represents what modern retro should actually feel like: youthful enough to not feel old, but pure enough to not feel synthetic. From the moment you look at this motorcycle, you can tell this is not a diluted retro attempt. Yamaha didn't make a cosmetic retro on a basic frame. They made a functional neo-retro sports machine built on one of the most proven 150 class foundations in Asia, and that is exactly why the XSR 155 is respected. This bike is a classic style motorcycle with modern handling DNA and real-world performance logic. You are not buying just looks. You are buying identity plus structural coherence. The 2026 edition gets some very important refinements. The LED lighting is sharper and more crisp. The tank contour is slightly reworked for more ergonomic thigh lock during aggressive urban directional inputs. Yamaha also improved the EQ mapping slightly for a cleaner low RPM pickup and better city directional control. You can feel the bike breathe more naturally at crawling speeds and small throttle openings. This bike is also designed for a very specific category of new generation riders who want cool factor, but do not want the artificial influencer hype. Riders who want premium feeling materials, without paying huge 400cc entry costs. Riders who want a bike that looks cinematic even at normal speeds, and also a bike that teaches good cornering behavior because the base geometry is intentionally communicative. This is where the XSR's unique selling point lies. It is not a hype bike, it is a character bike. Let's talk about performance behavior. The 2026 Yamaha XSR 155 continues with the same proven 155cc liquid-cooled VVA engine architecture. Yamaha's VVA system is extremely important for this engine size because it gives dual breathing personality. At lower RPM, the bike behaves calm, smooth, clean, urban-friendly. But when you push throttle beyond that mid-RPM threshold, the second comp profile activates, creating a stronger pull especially near the top end. The bike feels alive without becoming rough. You feel progression instead of sudden force spikes. This is what makes Yamaha's VVA such a superior real-world system compared to cheap marketing dual-mode mapping found in other bikes. Power output stays around 19 horsepower class, torque stays around the 14.5 Newton-meters area, and because of Yamaha's gearing ratios paired with the slipper clutch, this bike feels extremely usable in city aggression. Bumper-to-bumper maneuver, lane weaving, small gap acceleration of this bike thrives here. The slipper clutch again is not just a mechanical luxury feature, it is a rider skill stabilizer. Downshifts at higher RPM feel smoother, less destabilizing, and this encourages new riders to actually learn cleaner corner entries and more confident engine braking usage. Suspension is again one of the biggest reasons this bike stands above direct retro-styled rivals. The XSR 155 runs USD front forks and a link-type monoshock rear. This setup is not just for visuals. The geometry and mass distribution combined with this suspension gives this bike razor-accurate steering behavior for this engine class. You can literally flick this bike into corners like a mini scalpel. The bike feels agile enough for city board zones, but stable enough for weekend twisty exploration. This chassis advantage is what makes the XSR 155 a future-proof entry bike. You are not buying a small engine toy. You are buying a motorcycle with a skilled handling foundation. That foundation is more important than pure CC numbers. Handling teaches muscle memory. Handling builds rider confidence. Handling scales into future motorcycle transitions. And Yamaha understands this. Brakes remain practical. A single disc front and rear. ABS equipped in most markets. Not track grade aggressive but perfectly tuned for this bike's form and purpose. The XSR philosophy is usable control not spec sheet shock value. Now design. This bike is pure neo-retro. Not costume. Not cosplay retro. Real retro with modern mechanical proportions. Round headlamp. Classic tank line. Single-piece seat with retro stitching theme. Circular digital gauge cluster with minimalist graphic language. A bike that visually says analog so modern heart. And the beauty here, broken bar. The bike looks like nothing else in the traffic. It stands out without screaming. You will not mistake the XSR for a cafe racer wannabe or a random naked sport. This thing looks like Yamaha actually took time to think about emotional character. When you park it, it looks like it belongs to a more premium class. When you ride it slow, It looks cinematic when you ride it fast. It maintains attitude. Another huge design advantage, modification friendliness. The XSR platform is extremely friendly for custom personal identity builds, scrambler conversion, brat-style conversion, tracker, cafe. Modern custom minimalism. This bike can transform without losing mechanical coherence. This is one of the most important reasons why XSR culture grew fast in Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, India, Vietnam, etc. The bike is a canvas for motorcycle identity creation, a platform that allows new generation riders to discover personal taste. The design bones are what make this bike future timeless. Next point, fuel efficiency and ownership logic. This is where the XSR 155 beats every fake retro premium high bike. This bike is extremely efficient. It gives top-level mileage for its power class, high practicality, low running cost. The bike is small enough to be stress-free anywhere yet big enough to not feel like a cheap disposable commuter. You do not feel like you are compromising. You feel like you made an intelligent, mature choice. Ride posture is extremely important. The XSR 155 ergonomics target a neutral-leaning comfort sport posture. You do not sit like a commuter, and you do not fold like a supersport. You sit in a balanced athletic upright ready posture. This again is why skill development is easier here. This bike teaches correct riding posture muscle habits early. Neck does not strain. Wrist does not explode. Your body communicates correctly through core, shoulders, hips. Yamaha literally optimized rider geometry for learning progression. This bike is for riders who want emotional connection, design identity, skill progression, low cost of entry, fun cornering, and premium vibe without premium maintenance punishment. In terms of the top speed and performance feel, this bike will not beat giant displacement machines. But that is not the point. The point is this bike feels fast enough to give adrenaline a broken bar without pushing into reckless danger zones. Youth riders get sensation without stupid risk. Experienced riders get control pleasure without engine size ego. In traffic, the slim width plus lightweight plus easy-to-work response makes this one of the most fluid everyday urban attack bikes. You never feel trapped. You never feel heavy. You never feel stuck. You always feel like you can move. Let's talk price. Expected pricing in Asian markets for the 2026 Yamaha XSR 155 lands around $2,500 to $3,250 equivalent depending on taxation, region, ABS variant, and local assembly structure, which means this is still the most budget-rational neo-retro platform in the sub-200cc premium aesthetic category. Unique selling points summary: real retro soul, modern performance DNA, VVA dual-breathing engine, true handling capability, custom mod friendliness, extremely high daily usability, cinematic urban street presence. Skill growth platform. Who is this bike for? New riders, return riders, urban riders, styling priority riders, young riders who want identity, older riders who want small bike simplicity with premium vibe. This bike fits all of them. This is why this bike became a cult machine. It is universal without becoming generic. This bike is the opposite of disposable air motorcycles. This bike is built to become an emotional companion. You don't ride this bike because you need transport. You ride because you enjoy the feel. Riding becomes ritual. Riding becomes mood. Riding becomes personal cinematic escape. So to all the new generation riders watching this who want something different than typical aggressive edgy plastic a broken bar, this bike gives you a taste of emotionally grounded motorcycling in a world where motorcycles are becoming too synthetic. The 2026 Yamaha XSR 155 reminds you that motorcycles are emotional objects, a broken bar, not algorithm approved shapes. This is right next to broken bar where motorcycling is not just movement, a broken bar, it is identity expression. The 2026 XSR 155 proves that you do not need huge power to feel authentic. You just need a machine built with purpose, geometry, truth, and emotional coherence. We will see you in the next video.